When the most highly anticipated duet of 2026 finally premiered, audio analysts and vocal coaches worldwide were immediately struck by what appeared to be a brilliant, highly calculated sonic deception. Reporting for our special entertainment investigative series, we begin by dissecting the opening moments of the track that completely fractured the internet. The record initiates with a masterful illusion, specifically designed to lull the listener into a false sense of security. Roberts, the recently crowned reality television champion, takes the absolute lead, leaning heavily into the signature airy, modern, and intimately breathy tone that originally secured his unprecedented mandate of 26 million votes. From an audio engineering perspective, he keeps his vocal placement incredibly forward, utilizing a stylized head voice that feels intimately close to the microphone and is perfectly optimized for modern algorithmic streaming playlists. For the initial 60 seconds of the broadcast, the production sounds exactly like the safe, passing of the torch pop ballad that label executives heavily promoted to the general public. Roberts sounds remarkably comfortable, entirely in control of his phrasing, and perfectly tailored for contemporary radio consumption. However, seasoned vocal coaches evaluating the track immediately noted that this restrained, whisper-pop delivery was actually a strategic setup. By establishing such a delicate, quiet bassline, the production team created a massive dynamic gap, essentially the sonic landscape for a devastating contrast. It was a sophisticated acoustic trap designed to make the impending vocal shift feel as jarring and impactful as possible. The listening public believed they were tuning in for a harmonious duet, completely unaware that the stage was being set for a relentless vocal battlefield. Just as listeners settled into the comfortable, algorithm-friendly rhythm of a standard pop ballad, the entire atmospheric pressure of the recording shifted with the force of a sudden, undeniable acoustic ambush. As our audio investigation continues into the second verse, the entire dynamic of the track is completely obliterated by the entrance of Jennifer. She does not gently ease into her designated vocal run. She effectively ambushes the underlying beat. Brings forth the incredibly heavy, deeply resonant, and classically trained chest voice that originally secured her an EGOT, instantly and completely swallowing the delicate pop frequencies that Roberts had just carefully established. Leading vocal coaches and university-level pedagogy experts have pointed out that she intentionally and aggressively bypassed the modern industry trend of whispering into the studio microphone. Instead, she opted for raw, unbridled, acoustic gospel power. From a journalistic perspective, this was not merely a musical choice. It was a clear, undeniable territorial flex from an established veteran reminding the entire industry exactly who owns the stage. The sheer volume and placement of her notes created an immediate pressure differential on the track. In the traditional hierarchy of the music business, everyone expected the newly minted rookie to quietly fold his hand, retreat into the supportive background harmonies, and allow the established legend to safely guide the remainder of the record. The industry anticipated deference, but what Roberts executed in the immediate aftermath of this vocal ambush left professional analysts pausing the track in absolute disbelief, entirely changing the trajectory of the collaboration. Industry veterans fully expected the newly minted reality champion to respectfully retreat into the background harmonies, but instead, he launched an acrobatic vocal counterattack that completely redefined his professional ceiling. Rather than submitting to the overwhelming sheer volume of his duet partner, Roberts launched a highly calculated counter that fundamentally altered his perceived skill set within the professional community. Precisely as Jennifer hits and sustains a massive, earth-shattering power belt, Roberts audaciously undercuts her sustained note with a lightning-fast, incredibly complex, multi-octave melisma. He essentially utilizes his modern vocal agility to intricately dance around her overwhelming acoustic power. Entertainment correspondents and vocal analysts agree that this was an astronomical professional risk. If he had missed a single microtone or stumbled on the rapid phrasing, he would have instantly sounded like an untrained amateur, foolishly attempting to outsing a veteran choir director on national television. However, he executed the run with terrifying surgical precision. In doing so, Roberts definitively proved to the skeptical old guard of the music business that he is not merely the manufactured product of a viral internet algorithm. He demonstrated that he possesses the actual, undeniable, and highly disciplined vocal chops required to stand in the center of the ring with a heavyweight champion. This sudden, flawless display of technical agility sparked an immediate and massive debate among vocal professionals, effectively shifting the narrative from a simple collaboration to a legitimate, high-stakes competition between two completely different eras of vocal training. What makes this specific recording a subject of intense academic and professional study is the unprecedented, real-time collision of two fundamentally different musical eras and vocal philosophies. In our ongoing coverage of this cultural phenomenon, it is crucial to understand why professional vocal coaches are having such a wildly difficult time crowning a definitive winner of this exchange. The track represents a textbook, high-definition collision between traditional, gospel-rooted vocal power and new-school, digital-age agility. The artists are essentially playing two entirely different sports on the exact same auditory field. On one side, Jennifer is showcasing legendary endurance, profound volume, and classic breath control that harkens back to the golden age of soul music. On the exact opposite side, Roberts is displaying intricate vocal gymnastics, rapid stylistic phrasing, and the kind of micro-precision that defines the current era of streaming superstars. It is a brilliant sonic representation of the generational friction currently happening across the entire Hollywood entertainment complex. The old school demands raw acoustic dominance, while the new school prioritizes agility, nuance, and intricate phrasing. Because their styles are so fundamentally opposed, music theorists argue that grading them against one another is practically impossible. This inherent clash of eras is exactly what fueled the viral online debates, as fans from different generations fiercely defended their preferred vocal aesthetic. Yet, while the public debated the final, polished radio edit, investigative leaks were about to reveal an even more dramatic reality hidden within the raw recording data. While the polished radio edit presented a unified, commercially viable front, recently leaked, isolated vocal stems from the highly classified Nashville sessions have exposed the grueling, fiercely competitive reality inside the vocal booth. Our investigative desk has obtained and reviewed the leaked, isolated vocal stems that recently began circulating in the deeper, encrypted corners of the internet music community. When you systematically strip away the heavy studio production, the equalization, and the polished backing track, the raw, unfiltered audio reveals the terrifying level of tension that existed inside that Nashville vocal booth. In the unedited, raw audio files, analysts can actually hear the aggressive, highly taxed breathing techniques, the heavy sighs between takes, and the slight, highly competitive vocal improvisations that were purposefully muted in the final radio mix. The stems provide undeniable journalistic proof that neither artist was willing to compromise their signature sound for the sake of an easy, smooth blend. They were actively, relentlessly pushing each other to the absolute physical breaking point. What should have been a standard, heavily managed studio day for a corporate pop release was actually a grueling, high-stakes endurance test. These raw files demonstrate that the competitive tension heard on the final track was not manufactured by clever audio engineers. It was an authentic, visceral battle for sonic supremacy. The leakage of these stems has completely validated the vocal coaches who initially suspected that this was far more than a friendly duet, pulling back the curtain on the intense, often ruthless reality of elite music production. Beyond the complex vocal acrobatics and the passionate online debates, financial analysts have identified this collaboration as one of the most brilliantly executed, highly lucrative corporate strategies of the modern decade. As we conclude this special report, it is imperative to look past the technical vocal analysis and examine the broader economic impact of the release. While fiercely dedicated, are busy fighting in digital comment sections over who hit the cleaner high note or who possessed the better breath control, the true victory lies in the brilliant corporate strategy orchestrated by their respective management teams. This was not just a friendly mentorship or a simple passing of the torch. It was a highly lucrative, manufactured spectacle designed to break the internet. By bringing two massive, deeply loyal, and distinct demographics together and giving them a highly subjective topic to passionately argue about, the artist successfully created an infinite loop of streaming engagement. Listeners are replaying the song on a continuous loop, analyzing individual vocal runs and generating millions of dollars in streaming revenue and ad placements for both camps. Ultimately, the intense public debate over who objectively sang better is a brilliant distraction from the real triumph. Roberts decisively proved he has the technical grit and courage to survive a duet with one of the most intimidating voices in Hollywood history. Simultaneously, Jennifer proved her vocal dominance remains absolutely timeless and commercially vital. The music industry will be studying the mechanics of this vocal battle for years, analyzing the brilliant, unspoken corporate war that was waged and monetized flawlessly.